Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 1st of December 2020. So December already, incredible. Global stocks saw to best month ever as Bitcoin hits a record high. So again, markets continuing, or some markets continuing to move to record highs, and that includes the stock market as well. Let's have a look at yesterday, and unfortunately I haven't got a recording of on a bar by bar basis. I was recording on one of my other computers, and then by mid-afternoon I noticed that the pivot points were out when I created a new chart. I corrected it, but it was too late, which is a shame because there was some interesting bars that I wanted to actually show you, but it's a lot nicer to show them as they unfold as opposed to going back and looking at them. So I'm just going to do a quick review, but I can tell you now that the chart is recording on the other computer screen, ready for tomorrow's market alert. And I like to go through on the bar by bar basis because that's how the market unfolds as opposed to just doing a review. So apologies for that for today. But anyway, let's start off with the daily chart of the DAX, and we can see that the market managed to close back above the 5-bar moving average. It's done this for the last few days all the way through Thanksgiving. There was some weakness to start with, but then the market managed to rally and move up towards the 13,463. Didn't head towards the downside where things looked like there was the potential to do that. And again, there's no surprises there, let's face it, because they want the market on the highs, and we put in a new high there yesterday, but not going back breaking the 13,463. So again, I'm still going to mark up here just in case we get some sort of correction coming into the market, so that we have some downside targets if we do get a correction. There was some weakness around yesterday afternoon, even though prices did move strongly to the upside in the morning. So let's have a look at this. If we go back just to the pre-market, when I was recording the market alert, I brought to your attention the fact that the market came off the lows. We then had a pullback as prices hit the 200 MA and the S1, and then the market opened and we saw a big spike to the upside, followed by selling, further selling, although the range of this bar is narrower than the previous bar and the volume is more or less the same, so there's a bit of support coming in. The market attempts to get back above the 200 bar moving average, fails, and then we see some more selling. I'm just going to move the chart over a bit. So then we see this selling coming in here, get this big spike, and then all of a sudden the volume drops off. And in fact, in this bar here, we get prices closing back above the 5-bar moving average, and you can see the increase in volume there as prices start to reverse. And then, of course, we get this one hitting the 200 MA, and then this one, which is the interesting one, you can see how the volume dropped off there, back below the average. Prices coming back to the 20-bar moving average and above the 5-bar. So once we closed above the 5-bar, even though there was a bit of a battle, you could still see that prices were closing above this. We get above the 20, and then all of a sudden the market's ready to move, and it just maintained that one direction with a few pullbacks against the 5-bar moving average. But as soon as it closed back above these areas, prices continued to the upside and heading back up to the 13,400 level there. We can see the BRN, and also trading to the previous day's high, which was crucial because as I've said before, the low and the high are very, very important in a market's range. If you can take one of these out to the downside, you'll continue lower. If you can take it out to the upside, you'll keep the market making new highs as well, and that's is precisely what happened. We had the market sideways there. Again, you can see a couple of green bars there testing to see if there's any selling around. Low volume after this, and then you'll see the volume pick up even though it's below the average line there, and then again once we get back above the 5-bar moving average, they bring the market higher. No idea what this was. I know Lagarde was speaking yesterday at 10. I don't think she would speak for an hour and a half, so something was announced. Sent the market back through the high, but just look at this bar here. How beautiful is this bar? where you've got all of this volume. It's narrower than the previous bar where all of the selling is, and then prices once again back above the 5-bar moving average. Just use it like a staircase, and then bring the market back. We come back through here, but again, as soon as we get back through, the market is moving to the upside again. Back through, get a correction down to the R1 level, which we see here, and again we get a test down here, and then prices once back above the 5-bar continue. So you can see this pattern for yesterday, and then in the afternoon the Dow was showing weakness. We got weakness here in this bar. I'm just going to draw straight down now and you'll see it. You can see there a lot of volume picks up, and then we've got some selling here. Also note that here we've got the 5-bar now has crossed below the 20-bar, and in this bar here, when the market opens, I'll just draw this one in for you as well, and then just draw straight down to the volume. It's better than using the cursor, because I can actually sweep across the screen to it. So you can see there we've got this selling coming into the market there, increasing volume at the 20-bar, and now we've got the opposite picture to what we had earlier on, where the 5-bar was above the 20-bar and the market kept finding support, to the opposite, where the market was banging its head even though it came back through the 20-bar on the odd occasion. It as soon as it reversed back through, eventually gave way, traded down to the 200-bar moving average, found support there, but eventually it broke and the market moved back down to the high. Once it got to the high, you can see again the volume there as they try to bring the market back, and they succeed in doing this back towards the 200 MA, and then around 4:30 the market just moves sharply to the downside, and again you can see how a market stops. You get this climatic volume, and then the market traded sideways into the evening. So let's have a look overnight, and we see the market open sharply to the downside. This is a big bar for the DAX on the open of the overnight. In fact, it's worth actually measuring this up ballpark. I can see what it is, but let's just get an accurate picture there. So yeah, 67 points in that bar, and then of course it's followed by a straight reversal to the upside of some 85 points as well. So a bit of a volatile opening there for the German DAX in the early hours of this morning, taking the market immediately back above the 200 and the previous day's close and the DP, which is important. So market straight above the DP all the way through the averages. The 5-bar then is above the 20-bar. Again, it hugs this as the momentum stays to the upside, come back to the 20-bar, and then again you can see how they separate and move to the upside. And then it's become quiet. Everything has become tight there, and including now. But notice again how the market's been sitting on this 200 MA for the last half an hour at this level. So again, very, very interesting price action there, how it's sitting on this at the moment. We've got the DP down here, we've got yesterday's high here, and we're free to move up to this level. It's only 50 points to there if the market moves to the upside to begin with. We've still got the futures market at 7. If we go through the high, then we get into the realms of the high is actually the R1 as well, and the R2 is just above this as well, which will be 150 points in that direction if prices continue to the upside. However, if we get a shakeout and they decide to move lower, then we've got the opposite, because we're 50 points above the DP. So to the downside, we've got 50 points down to the close, and then another 100 points down towards yesterday's low as well. So at the moment there's bullishness about, but there's no surprises that when you see the daily chart and wanting to get those prices on the highs. And then when you look at the weekly chart, you'll see exactly why, because we're coming back off these March lows to get back to the all-time high, which we see here, which is 13,827, which happened in late February, early March, before the market had its big correction with the virus and then has made its way all the way back. And you can't make it up, can you? When you look at what's going on, all of the uncertainty and the impact on the global economy now is just absolutely devastating. And frankly, I don't think this is just the start of what's going on. And here is the insanity of the stock market. But I don't need to labour this point because we've spoken about this for the last 12 years since the market was bailed out by the Fed. And that's the way it's been ever since. So let's have a look at the implied volatility. This spiking up a bit yesterday because of the small corrections that we had to the downside, but the market's moving back to the upside now. So we've got a small tick to the upside, but again, it will soon be removed and the volatility move back towards the downside if prices continue to move on the upside in the Dow and back above the 30,000 and keep moving in that direction. So let's have a quick look at the news. Today we've got GBP news, we've got final manufacturing PMI, then it's over to the US. Powell is testifying again. Obviously that's what moved the markets last night and late afternoon, but not in the morning when we had that correction, or mid-morning. And then the criminals out at 5 as well, Lagarde speaking at 5 p.m. Okay, that will do it for this one. We'll just keep an eye on things. Just have a quick look at the Dow. This is the daily chart of the Dow because there was a nice pullback off the lows there and that increase in volume, which again is consistent with the market moving to the upside there. So again, the Dow heading in that direction. Silver also finding some support yesterday as well, which we'll have a look at tomorrow. So in the silver market, we can see that prices have held at this level here, down at 21.68. Again, we still could shoot down to the 200 MA. The market's got to get back above the 20 bar moving average, and the blue one there is a 50 bar. I was playing around with that the other day. So yeah, it's got to get back above the 20 and the 50 bar as well. But yesterday finding a bit of support down at this level. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to report, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.